What if it wasn't Olympic pressure at all, and it was actually overconfidence? Ilia Malinin skated onto the ice feeling ready. He said, I've been ready. I had a great day. I felt the energy of the crowd. The atmosphere was amazing. And maybe that was the challenge. I was so ready, I was overconfident. He approached the final skate to win gold in men's figure skating with a 5-point lead, a tremendous lead in this particular event. He had a program that had skills which gave him extra points, and he was nailing them. He didn't have to have a perfect skate, and he knew that going in. So what happened? One of the things he said was just before he was taking his stance to begin his routine, he had a flood of negative thoughts and images of traumatic events. So what causes something like that? Well, I can tell you what keeps it from happening. What keeps it from happening is when you're in a state called flow state. Many people call that in the zone. Well, what is a flow state? It's an optimal state mentally that has you in the deep now, in the present moment. And when we are in the present moment, there's no fear of the future. There's no bringing in the past. And what happened right beforehand, the past came flooding in because he wasn't in flow state. Well, how do we get to flow state? One of the triggers to flow state is a balance between the challenge and your skill or your perceived skill level. When Ilia stepped onto the ice for the America's team event, it was his first Olympic skate. There was a challenge. He felt, I'm sure, very nervous. He felt the pressure of the Olympics. Haven't you all felt nerves stepping on the first tee or stepping in to do a speech? Has that ever put you in a deeper focus, a peak state of mind? Because you were in a nervous state, your brain got you to a level of focus that was so deep, and your unconscious mind really took over? I mean, truly, for Ilia, with the difficulty of the performance and the routine that he is going to perform each time, flow state is necessary. Then he stepped on for the individual. I'm sure he felt pressure. I'm sure he felt nervous. Yet he performed spectacularly in both the team event and the first part, the short program for the individual. So then what happened? He was ready. He was confident. He knew he didn't need a perfect skate. If you are overconfident, mentally, he's not at that peak state. He's not flowing into a flow state because he's missing one of the triggers. If you are overconfident and the challenge seems too easy, which seems silly because it's the Olympics, but here's what happened. He knew he had a 5-point lead. He knew he didn't have to be perfect. He felt ready and very confident. He's the one who stated, maybe I was overconfident. His mental focus most likely dropped by just 2%, which is huge at the elite level. And then when it was time to perform, he wasn't in flow state, in that peak state. Therefore, he fell twice. He ended up coming in 8th place. And he's examining it. What I love about Ilia is he said, I will learn from this. This was my first time in this atmosphere. He said the Olympic atmosphere is very different. I'm not sure what that meant. Was it the pressure? He did talk later about pressure and expectations. I believe he has a lot of expectations on himself, as well as everyone who did expect him to get the gold. He said the words, I may have been too confident. So let's examine what happens as a golfer with those thoughts that flooded in. How do we handle those? So step up to the tee, get the ball teed up, go through your routine, right? He got skated onto the ice, he's waving to the crowd, he's ready for his performance, feeling great and confident. Same thing. Then he was getting ready to step in to start. What happened? A flood, negative thoughts, traumatic events. If that happens to you, if there's any doubt, any interruption in thought, the key in that moment is to step away. Take a moment, take a breath, get back into the present moment. How do you get back into the present moment? Beautiful, deep, deep breaths where you feel your belly go in and out. Be a commentator. I'm about to hit my tee shot. I'm on the first tee, starting my round, and I'm about to hit my D shot. Feel the belly in and out and get yourself back to the present moment. Make sure you interrupt that negative. Then step back and go through your routine and hit the shot. Sometimes when we have a lead, we can falter mentally, and that drop of 2% can make that ball go in any direction. So we want to make sure we stay sharp and focused and in the present. I have a friend by the name of Nelson Burton Jr., and he is a Hall of Fame bowler. And what he said, he bowls now in leagues and he's retired from competing professionally. And he said, what I've done my entire bowling career is I approach every shot like it's the last time I'm going to throw this ball ever. So if you are missing that peak performance because maybe you have a big lead, maybe the course is too easy, or whatever sport you play or whatever in business you're about to perform, what can you do to put a little challenge on you? Research shows that we want the challenge to be about 4% greater than our perceived skill level, which flows us into this deep now of flow state. You can do that for yourself. And then you too can step in with the confidence and the mental focus to put you in an incredible state to perform at your best.